Hello, everyone. This is Melanie from Lake Bemis Treasures, and today I'm going to bring you Chapter 3. Well, actually, it's not Chapter 3, it's the third part of the beautiful installment of Grossology and You by Sylvia Brunzai. I've been reading 3 chapters from this book every day, and today we're going to be reading about athlete's foots, brains, and bruising. 3 chapters for the enjoyment. This book is the science of really gross things about your body. If you're curious about boogers, interested in brains, want to know more about your bumps and bruises, this is the book for you. Remember, it's not just gross, it's grossology, and gross is in the eye of the beholder. So today, boys and girls, we're going to talk about athlete's foot. Is the skin between your toes red, flaky, and itchy? You might have athlete's foot. Does the skin crack open, crumble, and weep disgusting liquid? You might have athlete's foot. Do you have little blisters on the soles and sides of your feet? You may have athlete's foot. Is the top layer of your skin white and soggy? You might have athlete's foot. Are your feet smelly, especially foul? You might have athlete's foot. And what you might have? Ringworm, aka athlete's foot, or as the doctor might say, tinea pedis. Ringworm of the foot is not a worm at all. It is a type of fungus that likes to invade the upper layer of the skin. Sometimes this fungus causes circular patches or crusty white lines on the skin. And look at that poor fellow. That athlete's foot. A long time ago, people thought that a worm had crept under the skin and took up housekeeping. The medical word tinea pedis is Latin for a gnawing worm of the feet. But worm or no worm, athlete's foot is still an invasion of the living thing. It's a fungus. The fungus prefers to take residence between your fourth and fifth toe. It puts down its roots in the outer layers of the skin. The roots branch out and the creeping mold feeds on the protein called keratin. That makes up part of your skin. The warmth and happy moisture keeps the fungus really happy. So keep on running in those tennis shoes with no socks or with synthetic socks. Oh yeah, if you don't wash your feet, it will be foot rot heaven. Hey, if you're really lucky and if you're a boy, you might even have the athlete's foot fungus to spread where your private parts are. This is called jock itch. Often athlete's foot and jock itch go hand in hand. That can be due to the spreading the fungus as you dry with the towel. The groin is a paradise for the fungus. It's all hot and moist. And then we've got more pictures. And she says, I'd never go bowling again. Not to worry, bowling shoes are sprayed with a fungus killer. Wait, jock itch? An athlete's foot? Does this fungus only attack people who like to play sports? Yes and no. Every 7 out of 10 people will get athlete's foot in their lifetime. However, it's more common in teenagers and adult males. When people play sports, they sweat. They wear unventilated shoes, they walk barefoot in communal showers, and they get athlete's foot. So, yes, the fungus shows up more often in athletic people. No one knows why, but fungus just likes some people more than others. Researchers have tried to spread athlete's foot to volunteers by using the fungus, but they didn't have much luck. Join the fight against athlete's foot. Volunteer today. So while your friend may be able to wander at the public pool and stay fungus free, you could go shoeless and infected skin flakes or fungal babies called spores grab hold of your feet and they take over. There's no simple way to tell if the fungus loves you. If it does, you will get foot ringworm. If it doesn't, your tootsies will never experience tinea pedis. And the fungus has fun until you treat it and make it go away. For fungal relief, keep the feet clean and moisture free. Blow drying the feet is an odd but great way to make sure they're dry. Over the counter medicines can help, especially the ones that contain a chemical that ends in azole. For fungus living between the toes, spray the medication is better than a cream. If the fungus won't move out, a skin doctor can prescribe stronger medicines. Not getting athlete's foot is easy. Keep your feet dry and clean. Maybe even powder them after a bath. Wear cotton or wool socks. Don't wear the same shoes every day, or wear breathable shoes. Don't share towels or shoes. Wear flip-flops or sandals in public showers and swimming pools. If you really want to grow a family of Tinea pedis, just do the opposite. Next, we've got the subject of brains. Brain surgery has been around for a very long time. Stone Age people chipped or hacked small holes into the skulls of their living friends. Maybe it was to relieve the pressure of a really bad headache, or maybe it was to release some evil spirits. In the Middle Ages, skull drilling was still practiced. Only then they used metal tools. When you think about it, drilling for brains made sense. If your head hurts, you find the parts that ache and get rid of it. There weren't many painkillers for the patients. That's partly okay because the brain itself does not feel pain. Brain, no pain. However, the skull and the hair feel a whole lot of pain. Just think of how much it hurts when the class bully pulls your hair. Brain surgery has come a very long way. Brains look like intestines made into a gelatin mold. There's nothing quite like a human brain. Brains look like a giant gray cauliflower on a very thin stalk or half of a peeled orange. Slice a piece of brain and it looks like strudel. Brain strudel. If you had the rare opportunity to hold a human brain, you would notice that it's firm and spongy, not really squishy and mushy. If you mix jello and pudding, you would have the texture of a brain. Pickled brains that you can touch are older and harder than a live human brain. Your human brain is alive right now. No kidding. Your brain is floating on the end of a thin stem in a very protective case called the bony cap or the skull. It is 1/4 inch thick at the top and thicker at the base. It's tough stuff, but that doesn't mean you should forget the helmet when you go bike riding. Brains splattered on the sidewalk is not a good sign. The skull does what it can, but really hard things like cement and metal can crush it. And there's pictures of the guy brains, and then of course the brains. And it says if you use your heart, one of the great Greek philosophers, Aristotle, thought that the thinking part of the body was the heart. We now know it's the brain. A bruised brain is called a cerebral contusion. Even without hitting the sidewalk, your brain gets slammed around all the time. When you sit up in bed, your brain gets cramped against the back of your skull. Just imagine a poor brain during a roller coaster ride. The brains of boxers who died long after a punching career looks like a big old bowl of guacamole. Actually, the brain doesn't get scraped or bruised easily because it's wrapped in 3 thin, strong bags. The brain bags are named the dura mater, the pia mater, and the arachnoid mater. The Nina and Pita and Santa Maria. Anyway, mater means mother in Latin. How sweet. Dura means tough. So the first sac is a tough mother. Arachnoid means spider-like, and this sac looks like a cobweb. And pia means gentle, the innermost sac, which is very fragile. Between the spider mother sac and the gentle mother sac is a liquid that acts as a brain shock absorber, the cerebral spinal fluid, or CSF. It's like a traveling headrest. About half of the glass of CSF dips into your brain every day. The clear watery liquid contains proteins, salt, sugars, and urea. Urea is the same stuff that is found in pee-pee, and your brain floats around in it. The bags, the fluid, the box, and all the wrappings around the precious jewel of the brain. That ugly, bumpy 3-pound mass is 85% water. Still, without it, nothing would work. You actually feel with your brain, you hear with your brain, you taste with your brain. Your brain creates moods and memories. Without a brain, you're like a vegetable. Well, actually worse, you're dead. Your brain is the control center. It is not a very good looking control center. Gray on the outside, white on the inside, and worm-like surface. But the 30 billion nerve cells inside constantly fire electrochemical messages. In each second, your brain is capable of sending more messages than a postal service does in their entire lifetime. So who cares if it's ugly? And then we've got some more pictures of brains. And then there's a mummy picture right here. And it says the Egyptian mummies in museums are brainless. To help preserve the bodies, the brains were removed. They used long hooks to pull each part of the brain out through the nostril. Yes. And the final chapter we're going to do is we are going to do bruises. Bruises. Which bruise do you choose? A skin bruise? An eyeball bruise? A fingernail bruise? Or a brain bruise? No matter what kind of bruise, it's guaranteed to be puffy, blue, icky, and ouchy. A bruise is a bunch of broken blood vessels that have leaked. All bruises are made by the bumping, hitting, or smashing of the body part. Bruises are different from cuts because the blood doesn't spill out of the body. It stays trapped underneath the skin, fingernail, and brain case. Bruises have all kinds of impressive names. Bruises on the brain or skin are called contusions. An eye bruise is called a black eye. Or, if you want to be very fancy, a periorbital echimosis. Peri meaning all around, and orbital refers to the eye. Echimosis is when blood escapes from its vessels into the surrounding tissue. It seems a lot easier just to say black eye. Yeah, well, maybe medical people like big words. A fingernail bruise could be called an ouchie, but doctors would call it a subungual hematoma. Sub meaning below, ungual relates to claws, nails, or hooves, and hematoma is a blood swelling. So it is a blood swelling under a fingernail. Enough with the big words. No matter what you call them, bruises are not something you would want to order every day. I would like a vanilla shake and a bruise to go, please. Brain bruises are not very high on a list choice of bruises. Although you can see a disgusting brain contusion, it can be very dangerous. If a person's brain gets slammed against the skull really hard, it can bruise. The first of the three brain sacs rips open. The blood oozes out of the brain and into the second sac. It would be like wrapping pudding into three bags, and the bag closest to the pudding tears open, so the goopy pudding drools out and gets trapped in the second bag. What's scary is that drooling brain causes a person to pass out and maybe lose consciousness for a long time. Most people are lucky not to get brain bruises. And of course, we've got the bruise of the brain, or we've got the bruise of the toe. Skin bruises are very common. You probably get several each year. Your skin is the largest organ of the body. Its job is to protect you. However, humans are clumsy, so they often bump into things, or things bump into them. A patch of skin is about as big as a postage stamp. It's packed with about 3 feet of tiny blood vessels. If these blood vessels get smushed, they will break and drip blood out into the lower layers of the skin. The top layer of the skin has no blood vessels at all. It keeps the blood from seeping out. If the great red stuff actually drips out, it's not a bruise, it'll be a cut. Sometimes a wound can be serious, but surrounded by bruises. Bruises are a very colorful event. A Technicolor bruise movie would start out in red, turn to blue, then purple, and finish up with yellow and green. The lovely bruise may also have a glossy finish due to fluids collecting in the area to make that skin stretch. Your body is not very fond of bruises. The white blood cells will clean out the trash blood. As they do their job, the bruise will change color. In a couple of weeks, their job is complete. They'll leave no sign that a Technicolor bruise event has just taken place. Just the good little white blood cells. To speed up the healing process, you can even place ice packs or even a bag of frozen vegetables on the bruise right away the first day. After the first day, apply heat. Vitamin K cream or arnica cream may also help the bruise to disappear more quickly. Also, bruises tend to heal more slowly the lower they are in the body. A leg bruise will heal more slowly than an arm bruise, but immediately wrapping a leg bruise in an elastic bandage will stop the bleeding more quickly, so the bruise will not be as nasty. Some people think that black eyes are the best bruises because they make you look tough. Other people think that black eyes are the worst because they make you look weird. A periorbital echimosis is nothing more than a regular bruise but in a bad spot. The eye itself doesn't actually get purple and blue, just the skin around the eye. Sometimes little vessels in the eye may break and turn the eye bloody. Fists, elbows, and falls are the most common causes of the black eye. If you get hit in the nose, you can get a black eye. If you barf too much, you can get a black eye. No, it's not the force of the vomit hitting you in the eye. Smash your finger with a hammer and you don't get a black eye. You get a fingernail bruise. A slamming car door is another great way to get this bruise. The fingernail itself doesn't actually get bruised, but it's the nail bed under the fingernail that oozes the blood. The problem with bruises is pressure. With pressure comes pain. Oh, the pain. Your little pinky can become the only thing you think about. The answer: relieve the pain. That is, if you can take the cure. A doctor can pierce the nail with the tip of a red hot needle. A little hole is burned through the nail and the blood spurts out. Ah, what the relief! Fingernail bruises under fake nails cannot be cured in this matter without the risk of setting them on fire. And there is person with the nails getting it set on fire. Ah! And that, my friends, is the next 3 chapters. Now, tomorrow we're going to be talking about eyeballs, guts, and constipation. Very important topics. So, this was Grossology and you. Once again, like I said, I was going to be reading a couple of chapters of this every day. This is now the third segment of this. Stay tuned for tomorrow as I bring more of this book. If you like this, it's on sale for $1. And if you like this type of content, remember, give a thumbs up, hit the like button, throw a comment down, and I will be reading more and more to you. So stay tuned. This was Melanie with Light Beams Treasures. Take care.